The Bank of Ghana earlier this week announced the suspension of Wise, Zeepay, and other international money transfer companies from sending remittances into the country after they violated the central bank's Forex regulations. Here to tell us more and what the implications are is Henry Kobler, who is lead for Eyes of Africa. Good afternoon to you, Henry. Good to see you. What did these firms do wrong? You're muted.
Okay, so Bank of Ghana basically has a right to put in the Payment Systems and Service Act, which came into force in 2019, Act 987. Generally, they have to regulate their payment systems in Ghana and then all these fintechs that are cropping up in the industry. Now, if you looked at the point where Ghana relatively has suffered a bit of issues when it comes down to our exchange to our cedi, Bank of Ghana basically would also have to look at how these fintech companies can sort of influence the way that our exchange rates and all comes into play. And so if you looked at most remittance companies that are sending in money into Ghana, they sort of using their platforms to push in a lot of currencies into our country. Now, if you're looking at companies like Wise, Zeepay, you're looking at Transgo, all of them, they're quite a huge amount of money that is going through their platforms to hit it in Ghana. And definitely they sort of have a lot of play when it comes out to the issuance of foreign currencies and how foreign currency plays out in the country. And so definitely Bank of Ghana is looking at how they sort of violate most of the provisions in the Act and how they sort of influence our currencies, foreign currencies in the country, and they put in some level of suspension in place so that they can sort of be able to put in the right regulations and then the right pointers to making sure that the exchange rate is sort of stable in the country.
What does this mean for customers who do business with these firms?
I mean, it's really going to slow down remittances that are coming into the country, but it's also going to be for the best because then you're looking at most of these companies are becoming a force when it comes down to dictating the exchange rates to the cedi. And so with some level of regulations, we're going to have the cedi sort of pushing in some level of stability because we're looking at quite a huge amount of money coming through their platforms. Now, again, it means that we will sort of have to rely on some of the companies like Western Union, MoneyGram, World Remit. Those are like sort of fading out in terms of the usage. But again, those becomes the alternative in terms of dealing with exchange rates in the country and also remittances that are coming into the country. There's going to be a very less flow of those remittances coming in, but I think that it basically puts the city at a very good point.
And how does this impact the companies in question that have been suspended?
I mean, interestingly, you're looking at some of these, their numbers in terms of their books and records going low because you're going to have a very downward transaction force on their platforms. But again, you're looking at how the regulations that govern some of these companies relatively come into force. I've had a very good experience when I have to deal with people that are outside and are going to send money based on the services you're providing and all, and they're going to be dependent on the exchange rates that are quoted by some of these companies. And so again, you're looking at it as Bank of Ghana saying that the interbank exchange rate that has to be adhered to and dealt with to make sure that the people that are also in the country definitely have a very good currency enough to depend on. Again, country is not relatively run by remittances only, and so you're looking at how the people that are also down in the country make use of their currencies. And so if you're looking at these force in terms of their platforms losing, in terms of the transfers of the number of transactions that are going through, you're also looking at the positives where they don't relatively exert a lot of force on the exchange rate as to our city. And so again, you're going to see a very downward point when it comes down to their books and records and transactions, but I think that it's really for the best.
All right. I just wanted to have a quick chat about Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. We just have a minute. What's the buzz in town? How our online business is planning to take advantage?
I think this year is great. I've already seen quite a number of flyers flying on social media in terms of products, where it has to come to Fridays, Cyber Mondays. I mean, it's exciting if you're looking online to buying and trying to acquire quite a lot of things, but there has to also be a lot of caution because this is also the point where a lot of fake goods are pushed into the market, a lot of products that have sort of been on the shelves for long are also not being pushed to customers at a very low rate. And so you sort of have to be careful. There's quite a lot of deliveries that's going to be held. Again, during Black Fridays, you don't get to even look at the product before you sort of purchase. We don't have proper return in terms of policies for most of these goods. And so people that are going to be on to buy things, they should sort of be careful. But I think that is exciting. We're looking forward to some level of good transactions in terms of the books of vendors that are going to be on this. I've seen a lot of companies relatively in the electronic sector selling mobile phones, electronic gadgets, taking more advantage of this as well. I think that it's good for our economy, but people should be careful.
All right. Thank you so much, and thanks for the advice as well. Happy to see you, Henry Kobler, there. And that's